3, 2, 1.
Welcome, fans, to a special edition of Watch Scenario Wednesday. It's actually Thursday. Why is it Thursday? Because this is more than just a scenario. This is Stuffy actually is going to purchase a dive watch. I brought I brought my fellow fans along, Jay Goobles and RCW.
Mr. Stuffy, this is a perfect way to stimulate the economy.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. I've been saving, though. I've been saving up. I'm actually not wearing a wristwatch because I brought 4 different watches I'm going to discuss throughout the video. So we'll throw it over to you guys, see what you're wearing. What do you got on, Jay Google?
I'll start it off. I'm wearing a vintage Seiko from the 70s. Goobles, do you know what kind of Seiko this is? I don't think we've really gone over what Seiko this actually is, what the name of it is. I know it's from the 70s. I bought it on eBay from Birmingham. I loved the rectangle type look to it, the retro feel to it. I like retro. I know Jay Goobles, you're not into the retro, but I do dig the retro.
Look, RCW, that is probably, outside of your Rolex, that is probably my favorite watch that you have. But I have no idea when it comes to vintage Seikos what the hell that is. All I know is it's cool. And I am wearing my Seiko 5 diver. Newer purchase. It's a cheapie, but a goodie. You guys see it?
Yeah, we can see it. Hey, why don't you give us a little lowdown that it was going to be your work watch?
Oh, yes.
That's what happened.
It was going to be my work watch, but I ended up liking it too much. I didn't want to beat it up. That might change, but right now, I love wearing the G-Shock to work.
Okay, right. So, this is going to be my first new watch since this bad boy, the Citizen Classic. So I have not bought a new watch. I've bought vintage. I've bought eBay. I've bought estate sale, auction, used. This is the last new watch I've bought. It's the Citizen. So
what year was that?
Oh, it's early 90s during that conflict with Saddam and the Iraqis.
Yeah, this aggression won't stand. You're due for a new one.
Yeah, this aggression cannot stand against my wristwatches. So, okay, I got a theory. I think a perfect gentleman's watch collection consists of 5 watches: a sports chronograph, a dive watch, an everyday watch, a dress watch, and a beater. So I've got kind of a grail for each category. I've already closed out the sports chronograph. I'm not replacing this. Got the Daytona. I've also closed out the beater watch category. You can't beat a G-Shock. That is the beater. I might buy different G-Shocks. I might buy stainless, gold, whatever, but it's the beater is always going to be a G-Shock. And kind of the backup beater is the Casio World Timer. So I still have to get a dive watch, a dress watch, an everyday watch to do the other 3 categories. So Stuffy's on the hunt for a dive watch. I'm going to throw up my first one and talk about a few of the points about it. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yep, we got you.
That is let me duck down. That is the Yemma. So I made some notes.
Okay. I like it.
So
I think
the Yemma
surprised. You're going to be a little surprised by my pick.
I love that it's a retro re-release. It's the Yemma Superman Heritage. It's a 1970s French Air Force. That's available in a 39 or a 41 millimeter. So that was my first, obstacle. I love 40 millimeter. I think 40 millimeter is perfect. But hey, I got either a 39 or a 41 to choose from. It's 300 meters, Swiss Salida movement. They do make French in-house movements, but I feel like for my first dive watch, I want it to be able to be serviced anywhere. So you can't go wrong with the Salida SW200, 26 joules, 38-hour power reserve. It's got that vintage domed sapphire crystal, super luminova. I would have liked the ceramic bezel, but it does have a sapphire bezel as well and a screw-down crown. Now, kind of what makes this the scenario part of it is I wanted to throw it to you guys for your opinions, what may be wrong with it.
Well, here, I'll go first. Now, Stuffy, that is French, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Stuffy is French?
Yes, Stuffy,
why
Stouffé, as they pronounce it.
Stouffé? Yeah,
Stouffé.
like
Stouffé is the French pronunciation.
Well, I'm gonna show you the pick that I had for you, which is, can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
I had the Yemma.
Okay, nice. That's a little bit different model. What's that model?
This model is a retro version from the 90s, early 90s to be specific. Great illumination, in-house movement, and they do that right there in France or Switzerland. Just like the TK2 modification. Now,
They do that right there in the house.
Yes, in the house. So, yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. I thought you were kind of leaning towards Yemma. I didn't think specifically this one. You've been kind of all over the board when it's come to your dive watches and watches when you've been wanting to make a purchase. But I found this Yemma, and I liked the retro feel to it. And I know you like retro, being that we grew up in the 90s. I went with this one, and the illumination is top-notch on it.
Yeah, I like the loom. Stuffy's all about the loom.
So, and since you do like the loom, I got a little...
You have a loom shot. Oh, there it is.
Of course, I got a loom shot. And Jay Goobel, in the quarantine, was doing his own loom shots with his.
Yeah, I'll probably do the intro to this video. I'll probably do his wrist roll loom shot to the classic Stuffy theme song.
Oh, I can't.
Okay,
Sounds
Jay
great.
Goobel, take it away. What are your thoughts about the Yemma? You originally had it lower on the list, and I think after your research, you brought it up.
Yeah, it's a striking watch, man. It's cool. One clarification I want to ask you: does it have a ceramic bezel or aluminum?
No, it says it has a sapphire bezel.
No, sapphire crystal.
No,
What?
it says the bezel sapphire too. Check it out later. Look it up.
No, it can't be. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it says the bezel is also sapphire.
Are you sure it's not
It's
ceramic?
like a painted bezel with sapphire over it.
Wow. All right. Well,
Oh.
I will say this.
It's not ceramic.
Is the
I wish it was ceramic. It's not ceramic.
Well, beyond that, I think that it's a very cool watch, and I like the fact that it's using a Salida movement, which means it can be easily serviced. So, it's a great Swiss movement. The other cool thing about that, you don't see hour markers in squares like that. So it's kind of like a unique style dive watch, and beyond. Let me state this for those who don't know. Paul Stuffy has been working his ass off during this quarantine time and these crappy times, and he deserves this watch because he's just been working like a madman. And this dive watch has been a long time coming. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Congratulations, Dan. It's whatever watch you pick, it's going to be awesome.
Stimulating the economy, Mr. Stuffy.
But
I don't know. You
yeah.
talking about Dan. I don't know who Dan is.
Oh, did I say? I meant Paul.
Yeah, I don't know who
Paul.
Dan is.
Well,
Yeah,
Paul
I only know
Stuffy.
Paul Stuffy.
Jay Goobles likes to break down the fourth wall. You know, we'll forgive him. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and show my absolute grail watch. So this will be when I've reached the pinnacle of the Blancpain 50 fathoms, then my dive watch category will be closed. Obviously, I'm, about 90% away from that comparative. But I kind of wanted to show the Blancpain, and it leads into my next possible watch and why I chose it, because of the heritage of this. So this is the Squall. I love Squall, and one of the reasons why I really love them, not only do they have French heritage as well, Squall used to build cases for other manufacturers, including Blancpain. So this is the Squall 60th anniversary, 300 meter. It's 39 millimeter, Swiss ATA movement. So the other big, easily serviceable Swiss movement, 22 millimeter lug width. So the Yemma, why I would go with the 41 in the Yemma is it has a 20 millimeter lug width, whereas the 39 has a 19, and I don't like odd lug widths. This has a 22. So even though it's even numbers, I still think it's a little strange. Sapphire crystal. This exact edition, only 100 made. A lot of the Squall are either 42 or 43 or 44 millimeter. This was the only one that was on the smaller size. I think they make a 40 in a different model. Two big problems with this: no date complication, and it doesn't come on a bracelet, which the Blancpain doesn't either. But I do like that it's got that heritage. Now, my other main problem, and I'll use a sports analogy. So I love TGV. He's another YouTuber, but it's got TGV's name on it. It was a special edition, only available at Long Island Watches. So a sports analogy, I never understood why guys will wear a jersey with another man's name on the back. That is so weird to me. So for that same reasoning, even though I like TGV as a YouTuber and his opinion on watches, I think it's weird to have his initials on my watch.
I agree with you. No man should wear another man's name on a jersey over the age of 25.
Hey, but you know what?
Even 25 is pushing it.
You know what, though? What if TGV has a sport coat with Paul Stuffy on it?
Well,
you ever think about that?
If I ever made a sport coat, my logo would be on the inside where you wouldn't see it.
You're going to be all class. You're not going to have like the rhinestone studded like Elvis had, like the big eagle on the back, right? Is Stuffy going to be a little more classy, or is he going to be flagrant?
Yeah, well, I'll probably have an Elvis edition, but yeah, Stuffy's sport coats would be, very understated. The Stuffy logo would be on the interior only. So yeah, so you get the analogy. I think it's weird to have another name's man on your back, name of another man on your back wearing a jersey. I just think it's strange. I never understood it. Even as a kid, I never owned a jersey. It's just weird.
Stuffy wasn't old soul. He knew it when he was younger. Hey, and
I love the watch.
What's the price of that watch? What's the retail of that?
I'm sorry?
What's the retail price?
This and the Yemma are neck and neck. They're right around 1,100.
Stuffy, I got a question. Well, not really a question, a comment. That has a definite retro look. The thing I like about the Yemma, while it's a retro feel, it does have a modern taste to it, which to me, modern retro, if you combine them somehow, I like it better. As opposed to that one's a little more retro, which, I mean, you're into that and it's cool. But to me, the Yemma looks more unique as well. Is another reason I'd go with the Yemma as well.
Yeah, the only reason I really love this is the outer numbers on the bezel reminds me so much of my Grail Blancpain watch. That's why I love it so much. But yeah, it doesn't have a date complications. And I think you actually sent me pre-recorded opinions of all these watches in great detail. I appreciate that. It helped me do my research. You didn't like that it had kind of a faux patina on the lume dots and the hands, I believe, is one of your negatives you pointed out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the faux patina. I mean, it can look cool. I think it looks cool in the Blancpain 58, the Tudor. It looks cool on some watches, but I prefer to patina my own watch, if you may.
I'm going to have to agree with Jay Googles.
Yeah.
Patina to me is a little bit of a fancy version of rust or corrosion, where it somehow has taken a whole new turn as a style.
Well, vintage watches are really in right now, and I think that's the reason why a lot of watch manufacturers are going with the faux patina.
Yeah, I'm all vintage, just not patina. I'm not a fan of it. Patina.
Yeah, I feel you should earn your patina. So I threw up here the next watch. This is actually a vintage version of it. So this is a Vietnam era Zodiac Super Seawolf. This watch earned its patina, man. This thing probably went to Nam. It was in the shit. It saw the Worthy Adversary, the Man in the Black Pajamas. That watch has seen its day.
Was this the watch from Pulp Fiction?
No, I don't.
I lost it. I think we're talking over each other.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying, but this watch is going to be a watch I actually swim in, jump off the boat in. So I don't want to go vintage. Even though I love this watch, I'm not going to go vintage because I'd be afraid to put a 1960s, 70s watch underwater. I just don't know how good the seals will hold up, even if it's been serviced. So luckily Zodiac's still around and they still make the Super Seawolf. So here is a modern incarnation of the Super Seawolf 53 on a steel bracelet. Two things I have a problem with about this watch is that on the version I like, it has a cool blue Bakelite bezel, back when they used to use Bakelite for everything. This watch does not have, it's just got a steel bezel, and the ones that have the blue bezel, I don't like the hands. These have the sword hands and the triangle that I really like. So this is a Zodiac Super Seawolf. It is a 40 millimeter, my perfect size, 20 millimeter lugs, checks another box. Now here's where I have the biggest flaw, and I think some of you do too. It's got a Swiss movement, but it's an STP 1-11. I'm not familiar with it like I am with the Solida and the ETA. It is 200 meters, so they've all been either 200 or 300 meters, sapphire glass, super luminova. So it checks all the other boxes. It's got the heritage. It's got the retro re-release, like all three watches. But yeah, I'll let it take it away, guys, for your comment.
I love the bezel on it. I love the modern look to that. And it's a kind of a version of the Jubilee bracelet. I know you're not a fan of the steel bracelets, but I love that bracelet on that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm so weird about. I want the bracelet. Like, I'm big on owning the bracelet, but I'm probably going to immediately switch my dive watch to like a NATO or a like a rubber strap. It's but I like the fact that I own I still have the bracelets for a lot of my watches that I've taken off of the bracelet.
Okay, I will say this about that watch. I actually like the steel bezel as well. I think that's pretty cool. The one thing, when I was doing my research on that watch, I saw a lot of pictures and I saw YouTube videos on it from other reviewers. And the one thing I did not like is there didn't seem to be a big contrast between the dial and the bezel. It almost made it look like that watch won't stand out. Like it's like too plain, too boring for me. So that's why it was kind of low on my list.
See, I see where you're coming from that. But I think you don't see many that are like that. And I thought that was kind of a cool touch to it, where it's a little more not as flashy or out there. It's kind of like you got to kind of look at it and be like, oh, I can see that on the bezel now.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. To each their own. I'm not saying it's not a good watch, and Zodiac has a huge following. People love those watches. I'm just not sure if that particular Zodiac would be the one for me. Now, obviously, it's all up to Paul because he's the one purchasing it. So I don't know. What do you think of it, Paul?
Yeah, I've got a few more comments. So, hands down, if I could find a good example in the used market, I still want to own one, but I want that exact, it's like a brown black, they call it a tropical dial. I want the blue Bakelite in good condition, the sword hands, the triangles over the 12 and the 6. I want that version. This version isn't quite that. I want the light blue bezel, and I want the brown or black dial. So, yeah, this one unfortunately doesn't check every box. Now, they make a modern re-release of the light blue bezel, but it has these weird squared-off hands. I couldn't get into it, and I need to do more research about the movement. I know they've been bought out by Fossil, so they're not quite the same as they were in the 60s and 70s, but a lot of companies had to merge with other companies to survive after the quartz crisis. So, yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen after the COVID?
Yeah.
And it's interesting what the watch market is doing right now. It's kind of at a standstill.
Yeah, you're not really seeing price drops. Everyone's kind of waiting to see what happens. So all three watches are in the same price point. Actually, a full disclosure to the fans, we've already discussed all this over weeks and weeks and months and chats. So my original deadline was tomorrow to buy. Originally, we planned to film this yesterday, and I was going to buy immediately after the video, but I got impatient, guys. Dropping the bomb, I've already bought. I bought and ordered last night. Bought and ordered last night. No, I'm not going to tell you. We're going to do a live unboxing. Hopefully, by the time next week rolls around, we're going to do a live unboxing. And we're going to toast. We're going to have to toast separately from each location. I want it to be a surprise. It's going to be more fun. So,
all right, I get it.
I did make the purchase last night. They told me 5 business day shipping, but who knows? These crazy times. I don't know what kind of delays. I haven't had a lot of stuff shipped recently. I don't know if it's backed up, if it's taken a while.
When's it supposed to come?
It said 5 business day shipping. So I ordered last night. So hopefully by, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, we can do a live unboxing, special unboxing.
All right, man, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Believe me, I
and
can't
Jay
wait.
Goobles, you're next for the unboxing.
Well, I was just talking with Stuffy about this. I'm not buying one until I sell my last watch. So
that's good. He's got some self-control.
I've tried. I was so close. I've been watching videos on it so much. I'm this close, but I'm like, no, not till you sell your last one. The problem is no one's buying dress watches right now. And unfortunately, that's the last one I need to sell.
Yeah, you sold the other 2, though. I can't believe you sold those as fast as you did. The market's kind of weird right now. Hey, it's crazy times. But I think that's a good wrap-up for this week. I'm excited. My first new watch since the 90s. I'm pumped. I'm hoping it's going to be like an everyday / dive watch. I'm going to wear the heck out of this thing and really make sure I love it.
All right, can't wait.
One of the main things you want to do is go yachting with it, which hopefully we're going to be able to do at some point. This summer.
We're going to go deep water swimming in the middle of the night. Deep water swimming in the dark in the middle of the night on one hot August night.
We'll have some Neil Diamond.
I predict at least in August we're going to be able to go out
I
yachting.
can't
wait. Hey, everybody stay clean. Wash your hands. Wash your face. Stay fresh. I even threw some.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on.
I threw some soapy fragrance on. My favorite. The Irish
That's so
Spring.
funny. I just grabbed Silver Mountain water, right as you were grabbing your Creed. That's hilarious.
Well, hell,
Grabbing
I'm going to
Creed,
wear my
Silver Mountain
Creed as well. I might as well wear my Creed.
Yeah. Hey, if we're not all wearing Creed and talking about watches, it's not Thursday.
It's
All right, you two.
Okay, you
Be safe, be clean.
signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Stay clean.
I wonder how that went.